What's up, Epic 7? It's day number 3 of Ancient Inheritance, and we are making pretty good progress across floor number 2. Here is the map of floor number 2 and our pathing that we've taken so far. I'll go ahead and link this in the description, and I'll also give a preview of floor number 3. Not quite a complete map yet, but I should have that up for you by tomorrow. And here's a quick sneak peek at the terrifyingly huge floor number 4 map. I'll also have these linked in the description, but don't read too much into them yet. We're just starting to get looks at these maps, and the Bread team will have these up and completed for later videos. So at this point in time, we have dropped the right side Warden, and the left side Warden has just a little bit of health left, so I'm hoping that I can slide up there and take it out. Now, as I've mentioned in prior videos, the personal loot chests and individual monster fights on floors number 1 and 2 really aren't worth collecting. They aren't worth the provisions you would spend on them. You'll be much better served advancing your guild to floors 3 and 4, where the rewards are substantially better. The faster you can get to those floors, the more days you can spend on those floors looting, and your net gain will be greater. I only recommend collecting loot chests, personal chests on floors 1 and 2 if it is towards the early to middle of the second week. So I grabbed this relic and it is absolutely useless to me. I'm not working on nights, and the other two are all about doing normal monster fights, which I won't be doing. So I'll just grab one to grab one, because I'm replacing a food supply anyway, but I'll replace that at the very next relic shrine. The EXP book is gone, but I am not even close to leveling up again, so I will take my existing team into that Warden. Now this is an Ice Warden, which means anything that's not an Earth unit will have serious penalties to it in damage and strength. So ideally you want to take an all-green team, or make sure your non-green support units are good. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have any room to draft anyone else, so I had to take Alencia. Her passives will be sealed, which means no double attacks, no Mind's Eye from her. If I could have gotten Lilibet or Yufine on the team in her place, would have done much better, but I worked with what I had. Now I'm taking Destina because there's enough health there. I'm not sure I can one-shot it, so I'm hoping that I can enlist the cheese where, as the fight goes on, the Cold Eye Lich gets more and more defense penetration on your team, so he hits harder and harder each time. And if you resurrect everybody, that resets back to start. So my goal is to have everyone die, Destina resurrects them, and then Destina will probably die, but the Lich will not be doing much damage at that point again. Hopefully I can stay ahead of it with healing. Now, one nice thing about Alencia, she does have a defense break on her S1, even though she's not going to be doing her double hits, making the artifact I put her on pretty much useless. I at least do have a defense break on her, and defense breaks on multiple of Mercenary Helga's skills, so I should be able to maintain defense breaks, do lots of damage, and between Helga and Zahak be able to maintain attack buffs on everybody. It's just, can I do enough damage while staying healthy enough with just Destina as my healer? My warriors are pretty high level, but my healers are only level 4, I think, so they don't have a lot of teeth in them. And this thing is hitting a lot harder than I expected. I'm going to try to save that S3 for when I really need it. Now, every time you hit the Lich, it CR pushes, so non-attack skills on your healer are a good thing. That's why normally Acades is great for this, but you certainly don't want to take a fire healer into an Ice Lich. I can S3 this into a defense break. Hopefully this does a ton of damage. And it did about 2%. It's going to be really hard to kill this thing in one run.
In the light's name. Beast of the West.
I'll push Zahak up so he can soul burn his S1. Actually, I think did more damage than his S3 did. Helga maintains the defense breaks with her S1 and her S2. She attack buffs with her S3. And with an all-green party, she's just a fantastic unit to have. Everybody's starting to get really hurt here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a defense buff up. And hopefully everybody survives. You know what? Destina's getting hurt faster than my warriors, of course, because my soul weavers are a lower class. So I'm going to have to use Destina's S2 on herself when it comes around. I'm going to try to sandbag the S3 one more round. Good, that S1 heal went into Destina. There's the pop.
Prove your worth.
There's no real reason to S2 here, so I'm just going to S1. Get a defense break.
I'll finish this soon.
Guess here I can push up one of the other damage dealers. I think I'll save the S3 for when the defense break is up. I should have at least one more round of attacks.
How rude.
So soul burn this for a guaranteed defense break. Actually, no. I want to save the souls for Zahak. Okay, so next round everybody's definitely going to die. I need Destina to survive, so I'm going to S2 Destina so she'll survive this hit. And that's not a lot of health. If Destina can survive this hit, she can raise everybody back. I'll have reset the penetration, and I should be good to finish this fight. And there, everyone's down. Oh no, the kill let the thing take an extra... Oh no! Well, that's what I get for trying to be clever. Good luck timing that. I don't think it's so much of a cheese because it's really hard to time. Yeah, so if I'd gotten the raise off, I probably could have pushed this to the end, but as it is, I'm going to have to let somebody else come in and finish this thing off. It's only got a sliver of health left. Just one more attack should drop it, and my guild will roll in and finish it off any minute now. Okay, so one of my guildmates rolled in, finished it off, and now the priest is unlocked. So we can advance for that teleport and head for the priest. We decided that the guild loot boxes... Oh, that scroll. I'm low on provisions. I'm going to skip the scroll and just head for the priest. Put a note on the priest teleport so everybody knows which one to take. Now we decided the guild treasure chests on this island were not worth it, by our opinion. You may decide differently and want to send some people over to get the guild treasure chests, but the rewards just seem kind of minor. So I'm going to wander over here and try to get a decent relic since the last relic was trash. Hopefully this one will be better. Wow. Mages, knights, and rangers. Well, I guess I have motivation to build rangers now, so we'll go ahead and grab that one, because I certainly don't want knights or mages when I'm working on warriors and soul weavers. So that's a little disappointing, but I guess it's better than the vitality brew. And we'll slide up here and to the right. I believe there's a scroll. I've got to be real careful about my provisions. I'm running low, and I want to make sure I have enough to fight the priest at least once. So we've had pretty bad luck so far. Let's hope we get a decent scroll for a change. Oh my god. It's the same break the chests, don't have rangers scroll that I've gotten 4 times so far. I'm really sick of seeing that scroll. Okay, well, let's see, 18 provisions. Yeah, I'll have enough to get up there and fight the priest. Now, I'm keeping a weather eye at my exploration level in the bottom left-hand corner. See, I'm at 1200 there, and 1240, 1260. So I'm going to slide one step to the left, and that will take me up to the next level, and now I can raise my soul weavers up a notch because I got the exploration points. Warriors are still overcapped, but I can take my weavers to level 5, and hopefully that'll help out in the priest fight. Now I'll put some good priest fight comps in the description, but what you want to have is units that are good at laying down debuffs, a unit who can cleanse debuffs off of your team, units who can do good damage, and units who can strip. You need a strip to get rid of the counterattack buff on stage 7. You need 3 or more debuffs on the priest for stage 6. That's why I put Junkyard Dog and Cradle of Life on 2 of my warriors to assist with debuffs. Luna's just there as a damage stick. I probably should have taken Sigrid. Sigrid would have been safer. Sigrid has a lot more debuffs. Luna only has a defense break, and I already get those from Ken.
I'm sensing corrupt
In fact, this team didn't do very well. I would strongly recommend replacing Luna with Sigrid in this fight, or at least, or maybe even Ken with Sigrid. Though I do like Ken because he's got a guaranteed defense break, which is money on that stage 6, and he also has burns.
Ridiculous.
So already off to a banging start. 2 S1 attacks and not a single debuff. Didn't get the attack down, no artifact procs, didn't get an attack down off of Hades. Oh yeah, it was an S2 from Mediator Queric as well. And there's another resist, so not that I need debuffs early on, it's just not a good omen. I'll go ahead and use the cleanse here to put immunity up. That'll help protect me from the nasty round of debuffs that's coming next.
I won't use.
And no reason to S2 here, so I'm just going to S1 because the priest is getting ready to take a turn anyway, so I'm not bothered by the CR push. I'm immune, so I don't eat any of the really debilitating debuffs.
Don't be scared.
Luna soul burns into a defense break should do really good damage. 76k. Nothing wrong with that. I'll go ahead and use the S3 to get Vigor up, because Vigor is what's going to allow Ken to guarantee the defense break, and I want to make sure he's able to do that guaranteed for the debuff phase. There we go. Man, none of my debuffs are sticking. So I'm going to save the S2. It's got a 3-turn cooldown. I want to make sure it's ready to strip the counterattack buff after we push fast past the nuke phase.
For the goddess.
I'm going to have to burn this heal. This priest is hitting hard.
Round and round.
Leave it to me. I will shatter you.
Well, no burn, but I got a max hit, so that was nice. I got to save the S2 for the next phase, and I got to save the S2 here for the next phase as well. Okay, so now I need 3 debuffs,
I'll save you.
and that's not going to be easy with Ken all the way back there. In fact, hindsight being 2020, I should have put that S2 probably on Ken. Hopefully with this S1 I get a debuff. I don't. And I'm done. My artifacts never procced. I got no debuffs. Okay, Ken, I don't have a burn. If I can get 2 debuffs here, and his artifact doesn't proc either. So I get wiped because I got 15%ed over and over and over again. Maybe if I put S2 on Ken or Luna, I might have pushed a little deeper, because they would have been protected by the Immortal, but it is what it is. I'll go ahead and just chip away a few extra points.
I won't lose. For the goddess.
370k. Really not bad for having my entire team wiped at that phase 6 thing. If I had Sigrid, maybe things would have been different. Sigrid with her S2, especially her S2 into her S1, a lot of bleeds, might have protected me from the wipe phase. I probably could have put an extra 200-300k on that damage. But, you know, you can't fight RNG. Oh, heck, the little bell in the upper left-hand corner with the red dot beside it, don't do what I did. That should be the first thing you collect every time you go in. Because when you collect these rewards, there's experience. There's 148, another 148 XP, there's 233 XP. These are things that might push you up a level and make your fights easier. So make sure you collect the experience from the bell before you start your floor. It should be the first thing you do every day. Then you can make sure your class enhancements are stacked the way you want them to be, and then you can go into your fights. So I guess today was a what not to do video. Hope that's helpful. And we'll go ahead and take a shot at rolling this boot. I have no idea what Smilegate was thinking with this. It's almost not worth the charms. A minimum roll speed and a minimum roll to defense. You know, one more. Another minimum roll to speed. Nope, get me out. This thing is not usable on anybody that I can think of. So, unless you penta-roll a specific stat, I don't see how you're using that boot. It's just awful. But anyway, I'm going to go work on a Hall of Trials video. I hope this helps you out with your progression. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments section, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully on floor number 3. Have a great one, everybody.